Before we wrap up, we have one more presentation, but this will be my last visit up here because we're going to end with a video. I do want to reiterate what Larry just said, and I've been mentioning it all day. This is an essential election. We've talked about the Second Amendment, we've talked about the 16th Amendment, we've talked about debt, we've talked about entitlement, we've talked about fraud. And the common thread in protecting our republic is us. We give the government that power. Ronald Reagan said it, the Constitution makes it clear. We've got to protect that power. We cannot allow President Obama to get 2 Supreme Court appointments in the next 4 years. If that were to happen, everything we're talking about goes away. If he can appoint 2 more Supreme Court justices in their 40s, leaning the way his appointments lean, it's over for America as we know it. We need to engage in this. We've got folks behind you at tables with information. We've got patriots out there working for free, working for virtually nothing, candidates killing themselves to tell this story. But it's our job too. It's our job too. So I want to thank you for being here today, for spending the time, for spending your Saturday, for being engaged and involved. I'm sure many of you knew everything we talked about today, but you wanted to be here to show support and encouragement. Now bring some friends next time. Tell your families, because again, people look to you because they know you're involved for opinions. They look to you for answers. There's lies all over the internet, all over the media, on both sides of the aisle, telling the story. It takes work to figure stuff out today. It takes attention, it takes detail, it takes reading, it takes focus, and you're doing that. And because you're doing that, you have a higher responsibility to share that knowledge with others. Again, I thank you for being here today. Tune in to me tomorrow or any Sunday, 4 to 5 on WDBO. We talk about this stuff every single week, and we have for the last 10 and a half years. I'd love it if you'd tune in. I'd love it if you'd call. And to close the program out today, we've got a video appearance by Miss KrisAnne Hall. And she's going to talk about the rights to liberty. She's a mother of one and the wife of Pastor Chris Hall, who lives in North Florida. She received her Juris Doctorate degree, her law degree, from the Levin College of Law at the University of Florida. She's a disabled veteran of the U.S. Army. She's also, as I said, an attorney and former prosecutor who was fired from her job for teaching the Constitution to Tea Party groups. She now travels the country as an inspirational historian and speaker on the U.S. exceptionalism and on our founding documents. We're going to talk to KrisAnne in a moment here, and when she is done and the video is over, we'll be done. Please stay around, visit with the folks who are here, sign up for True the Vote, sign up for Americans for Prosperity, get engaged, get involved. We got a war to win. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm KrisAnne Hall. I really wish I could be with you today at Oviedo Stump, but I'm in Tiffin, Ohio, teaching the North Central Ohio conservatives the value of liberty and the Constitution our founders intended us to have. It is so encouraging to my heart to know that great patriots are meeting to encourage and teach each other how to stay engaged in this great fight. And as Americans, we possess one of the greatest gifts ever given to man, ever secured for a nation, the gift of liberty. But there are some things that we must understand about liberty if we are to maintain it. We must understand that liberty is the inherent possession of man and not something that the government doles out. John Adams said, "Liberty must be supported at all hazards. We have a right to it derived from our Maker, but if we had not, our fathers have purchased it for us with their ease, their estates, and their blood." John Adams knew that liberty has been given to us by God and maintained for us by the blood and sacrifice of men and women for over 1,000 years. Liberty is ours by right and not by legislation. It is not something that can be taken away. But if we do not understand it's ours to begin with, we will be apt to give it away through apathy and negligence. John Philpott Curran said in 1790, "It is the common fate of the indolent to see their rights become prey to the active. The condition upon which God hath given liberty to man is eternal vigilance, which condition, if he break, servitude is at once the consequence of his crime and the punishment of his guilt. To secure our liberty, we must remain vigilant. We must remain active. Use your voice while you still have it. Build your influence while you still can. We must continue to rally the forces of liberty. We must continue to stand against corruption. We must continue to expose the spineless and the hypocrite. We must inform the ignorant and fire the incompetent. If we do not use our liberty, we will lose our liberty. To secure our liberty, we must understand it's ours, but we also must know it has a great provider. If we lose the knowledge that liberty is a gift from God, we will soon believe that it's something that man can legislate and regulate. We will cease to acknowledge the divine nature of this right and begin to believe it can be traded as a commodity. We will believe that it is reasonable to offer liberty in exchange for safety and prosperity, and we will even give our representatives full permission to legislate it away in the name of national security. Remember what Patrick Henry said. What would gentlemen wish? What would they want? Is life so dear and peace so sweet to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but give me liberty or give me death. Patrick was not only saying he did not want to live in a nation where there was no liberty, he was crying out to us in desperation, saying, without liberty, even our apparent accomplishments are nothing but chains and slavery. If we do not have liberty, health care will be chains and slavery. If we do not have liberty, our economy will be chains and slavery. If we do not have liberty, our education will be chains and slavery. And if we do not have liberty, our government will be chains and slavery. If we want to secure our liberty, we must remember that liberty is a gift from God. This liberty is not only a possession of man, it has not only been given by a great provider, but it comes with a dear price. This gift has been secured for us for over 1,000 years of sacrifice, a sacrifice that came in the form of life, fortune, and sacred honor. If we study the fate of our founders, we know that many watched their homes burn to the ground. Many had to flee for their lives. They had to hide in forests and farmlands to escape persecution and prosecution. Many left a life of prosperity for poverty. They were able to sacrifice everything because they knew that liberty was theirs, and they knew it was given to them by God. But they also hoped. They hoped they were building a future where liberty would be valued above all else. Richard Henry Lee said, but when we are making a constitution, it is to be hoped for ages and millions yet unborn. We have that charge today. Daniel Webster said, we must hold on to the Constitution and to the republic for which it stands. Miracles do not cluster, and what has happened once in 6,000 years may never happen again. Hold on to the Constitution, he said, for if the American Constitution should fail, there will be anarchy throughout the world. Our Constitution was given to us to secure the blessings of liberty for our posterity. This possession of liberty is provided by God and paid for with the sacrifice of our forefathers now falls on us. We must provide that same liberty to our children, but to do that we must know that it will cost us something. We must know that this liberty is worth the sacrifice, and we must never succumb to fear or fatigue, because we are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for the future of our children and their children. Patrick Henry said, the battle is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. We must be vigilant. We must be active. And we must now be brave. And we must not forget The cause of liberty is a righteous cause, and the author of our liberty is the author of our victory, and he will not let us fight alone. And if God be for us, who can be against us? It is our charge now to secure the blessings of liberty for ages and millions not yet born. It is up to us to know that liberty is not only ours, but we will secure it for our children. We must remember this possession is provided by God and that it was bought at a great price. We must maintain this liberty because it was already purchased for us in blood. And if we do not, we will condemn our children to have to buy it back. As Mercy Otis Warren said, if we don't stand for liberty today, our children will bow to tyranny tomorrow. Liberty is not for sale. Liberty is not up for negotiations. We cannot trade liberty for security, not even temporarily. We must make it clear that we will not retreat. We will not surrender. And liberty is worth the sacrifice. God bless you all, and God bless America.